grabbed her phone, was like, "Let me show you a video." Right before we went on the air.
Yes.
Are you a mom like that? Like, do you show videos,
Absolutely.
pictures all the time?
Whether people ask or not, I'm like, look how cute. Look what she just did. Yeah.
Do you worry about her being your daughter?
You know what? If my daughter had a different personality, I would worry about her being my daughter. But she is such an independent, very spirited individual already. I mean, she has been since really the day she was born. So I know whatever she does will far surpass what I or my husband have ever done, just because she's just a unique, really incredible little person.
What about, for me, I'm just so paranoid. What about the parents telling their kids, "Hey, you should go be friends with Hillary Scott's kids so we can go over to their house"? That's also something I would do.
Oh my goodness.
Like, I'd be paranoid, but I'd also do it. I'd be like, "Hey, Hillary Scott's kids aren't good. Go be friends. We want to go over to their house."
Oh, well, my husband and I have actually talked about, like, wanting to be the house that all the kids come hang at, just because I just think, one, nothing makes me happier than when my house is full of people. And two, I think that's the best way to kind of keep tabs on your kids and their friends, and like just what they talk about, making sure that they're behaving.
Mm-hmm.
so we are fine with that. I mean, I grew up that way. My sister grew up that way, my mom being in the public eye and being an artist, and both my parents traveling the way that they did. And so it's kind of just all I've ever known, which is weird, but it's been my normal.
Did you just put up to the microphone?
Yes.
This is during like commercials. Hillary was playing this for us. Set it up.
I already knows how to bring it on home.
And here's
sister.
you're giving her the crowd itch too.
I know.
She's gonna love that applause.
Oh, she knows. She's like, I want to perform.
Let me ask a question about church for a second, because if you went to my church, I'd be like, "Hillary, will you get up and sing this week?" Like every week, I'd be like, "Hillary, will you get up and sing?" Do they do that to you at church?
Thankfully, no. And honestly, the church that my husband and I go to when we're home, it is a gospel church. And I honestly, I'm a little intimidated to step foot on that stage and sing.
There's probably some really good singers.
Incredible singers, yes. And there's a lot of family members from the Winans family that go to my church, and it's like I'm a little intimidated to step on stage with anybody from the Winans family.
I want to run through some of this stuff, like some of the Lady A stuff, because on Thursdays we get to go back and play stuff. But like Love Don't Live Here, for example. Like this is the first one, right?
Yes.
This is when we first heard Lady Annabella. When you hear this song, what do you think?
I was really young.
Do you hear youth in your singing there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what I remember when I hear it too is I think back when that was the first song we ever got to perform on the CMAs, and just that electricity, that feeling like that was a kind of tangible moment that we felt a shift and people paying attention to what we were doing. So that song is like, that performance is kind of what pops into my head.
That's when I run to you.
What goes through your head here?
We trusted our gut with this one. Meaning we had, a handful of other options for singles. It was single 3 off the first record, and we just really we felt like this was something that we wanted to say. And so we went to the label and very, very passionately were like, this is the one that we really believe in. And they, even as new artists, trusted us, and it was our first #1.
Oh, wow.
Let's talk about this one.
It's a 1:15.
Like, this is a life changer, right?
Game changer.
I mean,
sure.
like, for sure, life changer.
Yeah, bigger than us, honestly.
When you play the first note, does the crowd go nuts?
That piano lick right at the top, yeah, it's the biggest moment in the show still. And it doesn't get old. I mean, a lot of people ask, like, are you so tired of singing these songs? But honestly, I appreciate them so much because they're why we're where we're at in that moment. So that one is still magic on stage.
Are you still getting checks for that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the thing. Man, that's the thing. All I need to do is write a big monster song, and then I'm good. I just need to write a Need You Now.
You need like I Want You Now, or
Just something. I just need one of those songs like that. Hillary Scott is here from Lady Annabella. A couple things. Let's see, which first? I thought, and again, just I felt like in the past few months we've got to know each other a little better. Which
Absolutely.
we never did. You were like being a superstar and having babies and being married and doing like adult things. And me, I just sit in my room. Hillary played a show with us. We did a female, to kind of showcase females in country music with our band, the Raging Idiots. And afterward, Hillary came up to me and said, "Hey, that interview that whenever we had you on the first time was her first ever solo interview."
Yes.
And she,
Oh, wow.
and she came up and she was like, "Thank you." And I was just like, "Well, you're Hillary Scott. You should be thanking me."
Oh.
Like, this is the weirdest thing. And I thought maybe Hillary's actually like really nice.
Yeah, I mean, so even after all these years, something like a radio interview would get
Oh my
nervous.
gosh.
Like you're human.
Oh.
Because we're like, oh, Hillary's
We're like,
coming in.
this is nothing to her. This is just
Oh no, it really did. It meant the world, and I left, and I was like, I was so nervous just because I've been so used to having my bandmates on either side of me, and to help me kind of connect thoughts, because sometimes I get a little spacey and I lose track of thought, and so like I did just then. So I just appreciate it, and just being able to talk about this music. I mean, I did this record not knowing if anyone would ever hear it. So to be able to talk about it and just all of the people that listen in, and just I really mean it. I'm just very, very grateful.
The record's called Love Remains. It comes out tomorrow. And you know how you know someone's a good person if you know good people and they also say someone's a good person?
Mm-hmm.
So I have two people that I'm really close to in my life. That one, and Hillary and I are both in our 30s, but one is a very close friend of mine named Lee Miller.
Oh.
And Lee was Hillary's Sunday school teacher.
Yes, he was.
And he was like, I teach some Sunday school to Hillary, and she's like the great. And I was
That's
like,
awesome.
I was
Yeah.
like, okay. And then we have a mutual friend named Corin who was like, she's the greatest. And it's just, I want to say this before we play the song. And again, remind you, Love Remains comes out tomorrow from Hillary Scott and the Scott family. Is that for me, I found that being vulnerable has been what's made people go, okay, you're kind of like a real human. And not only am I putting myself out there, but you start to find out people relate to you more than you ever would have thought in your whole life. And for me, I wrote this book, and I was able to talk about a lot of things in my life. And more so than people feeling sorry for me, it was people going, hey, like, thanks for saying that, because I feel the same way.
Yeah.
And I know whenever this story came out, that when you wrote Thy Will, and it was about your miscarriage, that, first of all, I had to be tough to go, okay, this is what I'm going to talk about. Because I know that process of going, should I talk about it? Are
Yeah.
people going to think I'm talking about it just for this reason? But did it come to the point where people were coming to you and like, hey, thank you, because I feel the same way, and there's a voice that's saying it, that I've been wanting to say this.
Absolutely. And I feel like out of a lot of people that I talk to about this, I feel like you understand to a deeper level, just because you poured out your heart and your life, and you went into more detail into a bunch of different things. And this is just about one thing for me. But it's the connection, being brave enough to share your story, because everybody's story is important. And I think we all get caught up in comparing our own stories to those of other people, and start to feel maybe like it's not significant. But we're all here for a reason. Our story and what we go through is significant. And so when you're brave enough to share that, I feel like someone else, multiple people, thousands of people are going to look at that and go, okay, well, I've kind of been there too.
Yeah, I don't feel alone.
Exactly.
That's what I mean.
I've never felt more connected to a lot of people who have come to know me through music. I've never felt more connected on a heart level than I do now.
Well, but I think Bobby asked you earlier, like, why did you want to do this project? And your answer was, well, I need this kind of music for my faith. Like, you have certain artists or songs that you probably go to that got you through those hard times.
Yes.
And I'll just say to you, even with Thy Will, because, we go through those hard times and then turn to faith to find the joy, the peace, the hope, and the comfort.
Yes.
And I know personally, even from friends that I've talked to have listened to Thy Will, that you've done that for them.
Oh,
So,
wow.
like, the music you've turned to, and then you're inspired to do it with your family, and you're giving that back. So it's all full circle.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that. Well, we're all connected. All of our hearts are truly connected, and I think you can choose to live that way or not, and I choose to, just because that's where some of the most beautiful moments happen, and is just in these conversations and talking to people, or hearing in 140 characters sometimes on Twitter, like, what people have gone through and how the songs touch them, and that I'm privileged. I feel privileged to be invited into that part of people's lives because I know it's not easy for them to share either.
This is about